Hello, my loves. Thank you for joining me today. So, above all things that I desire in life, happiness is the most important thing to me. And the next thing in line, or right on the same level, is freedom. And plan B. When it comes to freedom, you need plan B if you don't have it right now. You know? I'm just going to share an illustration of how I felt my freedom was actually affected. There are many scenarios, but this one was on an international scale, pun intended. I was actually in the customs lineup at an airport, and 10 booths. Okay, there were 10 booths, only 6 were active. And whilst I was waiting in line, I noticed a customs officer kind of looking at me. I was like, okay, I guess he's just doing his job. I thought nothing of it. When I got to the head of the line, one of the customs officers actually came out from behind the booth, and he picked out 6 people and sent them to the designated active booths. But then to me, he says, you can go to that booth over there. And it was actually an inactive one. And I thought, you know what, I know where this is going. And sure enough, nothing to do with me being having a problem with security or anything, but just from what I noticed. You know, you have to be so conscious of your surroundings. When I got to the booth, lo and behold, sure enough, it was the same officer that was looking at me while I was in the lineup. And he took my passport and he kind of flipped through it, but he was really looking at it. He was just making light conversation. So things like, you know, your first time here, and you really like the city. He says, he wanted to know if I was alone, and he wanted to know where I was staying. I guess he was asking those questions, yes, to confirm, you know, exactly the reasons why I was there and all that jazz. That's fine. But then when he proceeded to ask me for my phone number, that's when I kind of had the red flag waving in my face, and I said, you know, everything you need to know about me is there. You know, I wasn't willing to give him my phone number because I knew it was like a little bit personal. He says, okay, then I'll give you mine. And he wrote his phone number in the back of my ticket. Now you would say, okay, one could be flattered, you know, if customs officer asks you out for a date, you know. I didn't see it that way. I actually felt nervous because he knew everything about me. I didn't know who he was outside of this job, you know. And the mere fact that he kept stressing the fact that I told him that I was there alone. What I didn't tell him was my plan B. And my plan B was, I actually did have somebody that I knew in the city that I was going to see there. But I withheld that information after I realized he was trying to see me outside of work. And I didn't know who he was. And that's the part I'm talking about, when you feel like you feel constrained, when you feel like you're being controlled, when you feel like you're being locked in. Because here I was alone, yes, in a strange country, and I didn't feel safe because this was a person of authority, okay? Or in authority. And who would I go to if I had a problem? You know, if the people in authority were the ones that are quote unquote preying on travelers per se at that time. Having said that, I don't know what your situation is, but if you are in a situation where you feel like you're being controlled, maybe there's somebody that's above you that keeps tabs on you, or you feel that you have to report to them, I think it's necessary that you have a plan B. It could be you put some money aside, you have a friend that you can talk to outside of where you are, or about your situation. Whatever it is, you need to have a backup plan, okay? So have a plan B, because your freedom is all you can have in this life to be able to live and do what you want to do in this life, okay? Nobody can take that from you. Don't allow anybody to take that from you. Have a plan B. I absolutely love you. Peek and choose my 5-star lifestyle.